In this video, I'm going to show you how to set up and engrave a glass gobo. So this is the Gobo Projector by xTool. And before we get into how to set up and engrave a gobo, let's look at what this thing actually does. So here is an image that I engraved using my xTool F1, and you insert it into the back of the projector and it projects it and then also rotates it around. So it's a really cool machine. You can customize these gobos to have whatever image or text you want to display for events, parties, weddings, holidays, all of the things. So let me show you how to customize these gobos and let's get started. So here's what comes in the kit. You get the Gobo Projector, and then you also will receive these colored glass gobos, and that allows you to change the color of your image. So you have a red one, a blue one, a yellow, and a green one. And then you'll also receive 4 glass. They're black coated glass, and that's what you're going to engrave on. So we're going to engrave on the black ones that have a mirror kind of side. So a black and a mirror. That's what we're going to use to create our design. I didn't receive this golden self-adhesive vinyl, so I'm not sure what that is. And then this is your user manual. You also receive a screwdriver, which will be helpful to install the gobo. This is probably the most important step right here. So there's this QR code. You'll want to scan that and it will take you to this page, or you can click in my video description and it will take you directly to this page. And there are some files that you can open up in xTool Creative Space. I'm not sure if it's opening up the wrong size in mine or if maybe the glass gobo sizes were adjusted. But this tutorial will walk you through how to do everything I'm telling you in this video. But it will start off with this tutorial on how to build this little shelf for your gobo to sit in while you're engraving. So the reason that we're building this shelf, from what I understand, is that when you engrave your black gobo, so you put it in here, if you don't have somewhere for the smoke to go, then it will yellow your glass. And so it will change the color of the clear and it will yellow it out. So that's where we're making the shelf. So I also created a file and it looks like this. You have 3 pieces. Your top one is a little bit bigger circle, your second one is a little smaller circle, and then the base plate. And that allows there to be a little shelf for your gobo to sit in. So I will figure out how to attach this in the video description so that you can download this if you need it. Or you can create your own, or you can even use the little plate that comes with your F1 if you don't want to have to worry about building this little shelf. So follow the steps. I just glued mine up quickly and then we can get to the fun part, which is engraving. So the gobo comes in this little plastic wrap, so you'll just want to be careful not to scratch it. And I kind of just rubbed it together to find an opening. And we're going to engrave the black side. So there's a black side and this mirror side. You'll want your black side facing up. So I'll place that in my little shelf. And in this tutorial, there are settings. So they used power 60 and speed 600 in one pass. For this project, I am using my xTool F1. So I'm going to power that on and place my gobo in my shelf right in the center. And I can adjust that as necessary a little later on. I have my xTool connected via USB, and then I have my image already drawn up. So I did add some guidelines. The gobo size that I received, they're about 1.5 inches, but I wanted to add this other little line right here as a guide. It's 1.15 inches, and that is the width of the area that can actually be seen. So let me show you. So when you put the gobo in, there's this black ring that goes around it, and the area in between is 1.15 inches. So you don't want your design to go outside of that area because then it won't be able to be seen. So I would say keep your design to be about 1 inch in size. So my actual design right here is 0.992, and that's a good size. So I can delete these guidelines if I want, or I can leave them and just ignore them. I'm going to delete them. And then you'll want to make sure that your image is mirrored. So if it's not already, you can just click reflect and then reflect horizontally. I also wanted to note that if you engrave it this way, so I am engraving my image, then it will show white when I project it. Whereas if I engrave it like this, where I'm taking away the background, my image will show black, like this one. So all this black will be engraved. Or if you want your logo to shine white, then you'll engrave the actual image like this. So for this one, I will engrave the background out just so that we can see what that looks like. So since we're going to engrave the background on this one, I set this up so that my image was about 1 inch big, and then this is the size of my gobo. So I want to make sure that I leave some black around the edges so that no light shines through. And that's kind of what this tutorial is showing here. So you want this black around the edge, and then you can see that the black actually comes out and protects your light from shining through. So I could actually make my black area a little bit bigger and my image a little smaller, just to ensure that I don't have any light seeping through. So let's make this one, let's see. I'm gonna make this exactly 1 inch. So our circle in the middle is 1 inch, and then that way we'll have enough black area on the edges. Okay, so I actually don't need this outline area unless I wanna use it as a framing resource. So I think I'm okay. So I'm going to delete that, and then we're going to bring this into xTool. So I'm going to save my file. So here is my design that I just designed over in Adobe Illustrator. And to see what it looks like, you can click Score, and then you can see that it looks more like what was in Adobe. And to set my settings, what I did is I chose black metal business card. I'm sure that there will be a Gobo setting in the future, but I just selected black metal business card for a jumping off point. And then the reference settings were power 100, speed 400, and lines per centimeter 160. But based off of these settings, it was power 60 and speed 600. So I did adjust those. So we'll do power 60, speed 600, and I'm going to increase the lines per centimeter up to 300 because mine was a little liney. So we're just about ready to engrave this. So over on the laser side, make sure to take off your lens cap, and then it's really super hard to see, but when I move the laser up and down, there is a red and a blue light, and you want to make sure that those are overlapping so that you can focus your design. So I'm going to get really close. I just want them to be overlapping. It's kind of hard to see on the black. Okay, with the lights off, I think you might be able to see that a little bit better. And now I'm going to click Frame on my computer, and that's going to shoot down a little square, and it's going to show where my image is. So you can kind of see where the square is, and you can just move your design into place. So it looks good there. I'm going to close my lid. I'm going to click Stop Framing, and we're going to process this. Make sure your laser is vented out your window, and then click Start. On your laser, you'll hit your Start button. And it's all done. Okay, both my cameras are having a really hard time focusing on that. But here is the gobo straight out of the laser. And now we'll put it in the projector and see how it projects. So here is the back of my projector. So here's the full projector. And I just unscrewed the back of it off of my projector, just like that. And then there is this ring. You're going to insert your screwdriver right into either of the holes and move it counterclockwise until it unscrews. Inside, you can shake out all the components. For yours, you will just have these black rings. Then here's my gobo, which I will film and show you the difference. So you can see that this was where I engraved away the image, and this is where I engraved away the background. So now to install these, you're going to place a ring, and then if you want to add a color, you can place the colored glass next, but I'm going to show you without any color to start, so I'm just going to put 2 black rings. Then you want to install this with the black side facing up. So place the black side in. And then last, you'll screw this back on. You'll just want to make sure that the threads are facing down, and then you'll screw this in clockwise. And you'll just want to position your gobo so that it's right in the center. So I've screwed that nice and tight. And I'm going to screw that back into my projector. I'm going to connect all the power supplies back. And this is explained really well in that video that I linked and also in your instructions. So we'll connect all of the power supplies and plug it in. So I just plugged it in, and now I'm going to focus it. So there's a focus ring up at the front. I'm just going to loosen that up, and then you can just start twisting it left or right to see which way will focus it. So it's spinning, and then on the front of the projector, there's this button. I'm going to push it and show you what happens. So if you click it, you can stop the image. If you click it again, you can keep on rotating. You can rotate the other way and stop it. On this one, you're not getting the drippy Halloween text as much as I did with the other one. So again, this one is the image where I engraved away the background. So let me show you what the other one looks like again. So this was the first gobo I cut, and you can see that since I made my image a little bit bigger, it's pretty difficult to center everything in the middle of that black ring without cutting anything off. So you do want to be mindful. I wish I made my image a little bit smaller, but when you engrave away the logo, it becomes white writing, and I do feel like I got a lot more detail. You can see with the drippy font. So on this one, I did do less lines per centimeter. This one was 160, so maybe we should stick to those settings. While you can see the lines, you do get more detail. So 160 lines per centimeter on this one, and you can really see the drips. Again, this one is the image where I engraved away the logo, so you're getting a white image as opposed to the other one where you get a black image. So hopefully that kind of clarifies things when you're designing and choosing what you want to make. So if I stop it, this light leak is what I'm talking about here, where my image was so big that I feel like it's kind of hard. I have to center it perfectly in order not to chop off any of the letters. But when I'm doing that, there's a little bit of light leaking through. So if I center up my image a little bit better, it wouldn't cut off. So to avoid that, just make your image a little bit smaller, and then you won't have to worry about centering it perfectly. So definitely made this one too big. So the projector is super strong. You can add the different colors. Like I mentioned, there's red, yellow, green, and blue that come in the kit. I personally like the bright white crisp look, so I'm going to leave it without a color, but you can play with the colors. It's super fun. If you have any questions, make sure to check out the video description. I will link everything used in today's tutorial, and I'll also put my recommended dimensions because, like I said, this one I cut a little bit or engraved a little bit too big, so trying to center it up is really difficult. I will say that this projection is super bright and clear. This is in the middle of the day. I'm filming right now at 3:45 in the afternoon and just have my blinds drawn, and you can see it super clearly. So I can only imagine how great this will look outside at nighttime for the holidays. So let me know in the comments, what would you use this projector for? I can't wait to hear all of your ideas. If there are questions that were not answered in the video description, make sure to leave a comment. And if you found this video helpful, make sure to like it and consider subscribing to my channel. Thanks so much for watching, and I will see you in the next video.